Good morning. I'm just testing my mic. Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
Thank you.
Grain, Ms. Boulay, are you both ready?
Yep, I'm ready.
I think I heard only one I'm ready, and I'm not sure who it was.
That
The
was
court
April.
reporter is ready.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Good morning. My name is Aviv Segev. I'm the administrative law judge assigned to hear this proceeding, number 25G-0550TO. Today is January 15th, 2026. It is now 9 a.m. This matter comes on for hearing pursuant to decision number R25-0885-I. I'm now calling the hearing to order. Before we start with entries of appearance, I want to remind staff that it is the Commission's practice to webcast legal proceedings, and that both the audio and video feeds of this proceeding are being webcast on the Commission's YouTube channel. We're also recording the hearing, and we have a court reporter who's transcribing everything that's being said. Ms. Chong, Ms. McLaughlin, welcome. Would you please enter your appearance?
Good morning, Your Honor. Senior Assistant Attorney General Katie McLaughlin, on behalf of staff of the Colorado Public Utilities Commission. With me today is my co-counsel, Assistant Attorney General Aileen Chong.
Thank you very much. Before we proceed any further, and let me make sure, I'd like the record to reflect that neither the respondent nor its representative has appeared for this hearing, as reflected in decision number R25-0885I. Decision R25-0885-I was sent to the respondent by U.S. mail at 2580 South University Boulevard, number 406, Denver, Colorado 80210, and by email to NORI period ORAYETH@gmail.com. In addition, last week on January 8th, the instructions for accessing this proceeding and presenting evidence in this proceeding were emailed to the respondent at the same Gmail address I just noted. Ms. Chong, Ms. McLaughlin, do you have any preliminary matters you would like to discuss?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Ms. McLaughlin, is staff ready to present its evidence?
Yes, we are. Staff would like to call Investigator Joe Potts.
Potts, please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed, Ms. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Investigator Potts. Can you please state and spell your name for the record?
Joseph Potts, JOSEPH, POTTS,
And where are you employed?
the Colorado Public Utilities Commission.
How long have you been employed there?
I've been here for 4 years.
And can you describe your position and your title?
I am a criminal investigator.
And what are your responsibilities under that?
I investigate complaints that are filed amongst the industries that are regulated by the PUC.
And can you briefly describe your prior work experience?
Before joining the PUC, I was a sheriff's deputy with the city and county of Denver for 15 years.
Investigator Potts, how did you come to be assigned to the case that brings us to hearing today?
I was assigned to a complaint that was filed by a Mia Brasseau regarding the tow of her vehicle after she was involved in an accident in August of 2025.
And based on the sum of your investigation, which we will go through in detail during the course of this hearing, did you issue a civil penalty assessment or a CPAN?
Yes, I did.
Could we please pull up what has been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 100? These are the exhibits in our box.com. If we could briefly scroll through the 3 pages that are on this exhibit. And while you're looking at that, Investigator Potts, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Can we return to page 1? Thank you so much. And what is this exhibit, Investigator Potts?
This is the civil penalty assessment notice or complaint to a peer that I created and served to the respondent.
Can we scroll down to the bottom of page 1? And can you confirm whose signature is at the bottom of this?
That is my signature.
Are CPANs made as part of the regular practice of the PUC?
Yes, they are.
And are CPANs kept in the ordinary course of the business of the PUC?
Yes, they are.
I'd like to move to admit what's been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 100, please.
Hearing exhibit 100 is admitted.
And if we could scroll closer to the top of this exhibit again, thank you so much. Investigator Potts, what violations did you list on the CPAN?
Uh, Failing to file evidence of insurance with the Public Utilities Commission and operating without a permit.
Great. We can go ahead and take this exhibit down. Thank you. During the course of your investigation, what was the first step that you took to find information about Rocky Mountain Towing?
I researched the company name in our PUC databases to include IFMs and oprights.
And can you briefly describe what IFMs is?
IFM stands for Integrated Filing Management System, and it is the computer system that we use to maintain all of our towing operators with the PUC.
And what did you discover during your IFM search related to Rocky Mountain Towing?
I could not locate any information for the company. However, I couldn't locate any information for the tow company that had a permit for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery, but I did locate a towing application that had been submitted for the company earlier in 2025.
Could we please pull up what's been marked as Staff's Hearing Exhibit 101 in our box.com? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is the towing application that Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery had submitted in January of 2025.
And how exactly are you familiar with this exhibit?
I'm the one that located this document and saved it to the file.
And are applications submitted as part of the regular practice with the PUC?
Yes, they are.
Does the PUC keep towing permit applications in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes, they do.
Staff would like to move for the admission of Hearing Exhibit 101.
Hearing Exhibit 101 is admitted.
Could we scroll just so we can see a little bit more of the middle of this exhibit, please? That is great, thank you. Investigator Potts, does this IFM's entry with the application, does it contain a designated agent?
Yes, it does.
And who would that be?
It would be a Nori or Rayeth.
And does this also contain an address for the designated agent?
Yes, it does.
Does it contain an email address?
Yes, it does.
And does it contain a phone number?
Yes, it does.
And who provides this information on a towing application with the PUC?
The applicant or representative of the tow company.
What is the current status of Rocky Mountain Towing's permit with the PUC?
They do not have a towing permit with us.
And when did the application for this towing permit expire or get dismissed?
It appears to have expired on March 3rd, 2025.
And so just to confirm, right now, does Rocky Mountain Towing have an active PUC towing permit?
No, they do not.
Okay, we can take this exhibit down. Thank you. Are towing carriers, excuse me, also required to file evidence of financial responsibility with the PUC?
Yes, they are.
Did the respondent file Form E, financial responsibility for bodily injury and property damage?
No, no proof of insurance was ever filed for the company.
And just to confirm, did respondent file Form H for cargo insurance?
No, they did not.
And what do you conclude from this information?
That the company applied for a towing permit. However, their insurance information never got filed with the PUC. So the application expired and was dismissed.
What other databases did you use to search for Rocky Mountain Towing?
I searched for their business license with the Colorado Secretary of State's office.
Could we please pull up what's been marked as Staff's Hearing Exhibit 102 in our box.com? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is the business license for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery.
And how exactly are you familiar with this exhibit?
I'm the one that located this document and I saved it to the file.
And do you recall when you first accessed the Secretary of State's database to find information about Rocky Mountain Towing?
I believe it was September 15th.
Staff would like to admit Staff's Hearing Exhibit 102.
Hearing Exhibit 102 is admitted.
Investigator Potts, do you see the physical address of Rocky Mountain Towing listed on the Secretary of State's website?
Yes, I do.
Is this the same address listed on the towing permit application from Rocky Mountain Towing?
Yes, it is.
And do you see the registered agent listed for the Secretary of State's website?
Yes, I do.
Is this the same individual that was listed as the designated agent on Rocky Mountain Towing's application for a PUC permit?
Yes, it is.
Can we please pull up what's been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 103? And this looks similar, but Investigator Potts, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is this exhibit?
This is the most recent business license for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery.
And how exactly are you familiar with this exhibit?
Prior to serving the respondent with the CPAN, I double checked the address that we had on file for him and noticed that the business license or the business had voluntarily dissolved on October 15th, and I saved this copy to the file.
And do you recall approximately when you accessed this second version of the Secretary of State's website for Rocky Mountain Towing?
Yes, I looked this information up on October 16th, the day after the license had dissolved.
Staff would like to move to admit hearing exhibit 103.
Hearing exhibit 103 is admitted.
And just to confirm, Investigator Potts, you mentioned this, but I just want to make sure that we have it. What is the current status of Rocky Mountain Towing's LLC on the Secretary of State's website?
It says that it has voluntarily dissolved.
As of what date?
As of October 15th, 2025.
And again, does the registered agent information on this version of the Secretary of State's website match the information that Rocky Mountain Towing included in their permit application with the PUC?
Yes, it does.
We can take this exhibit down. Thank you. Investigator Potts, I want to talk to you about the complaint from Mia Brazeau. You mentioned this very early on in the hearing, but how did Ms. Brazeau submit her complaint?
She filed her complaint online through the PUC website.
Could we please pull up staff's hearing exhibit 104? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And can you describe what this is?
This is the composite report for Ms. Brazeau's complaint.
And how exactly are you familiar with it?
I downloaded it from the system and saved it to the file.
Are towing complaints regularly submitted as part of the normal practice at the PUC?
Yes, they are.
And does the PUC keep and retain towing complaints in the ordinary course of its business?
Yes, they do.
Staff would move to admit hearing exhibit 104.
Hearing exhibit 104 is admitted.
Investigator Potts, did you personally speak with the complainant, Ms. Mia Brazeau?
Yes, I did.
And what did you learn from Ms. Brazeau?
She told me that on October 21st, 2025, no, excuse me, August 21st, 2025, she was involved in an accident with her 2014 GMC Sierra near the intersection of East Evans and Havana Street in Denver. She said that after the accident, a tow truck driver happened to appear on the scene. He approached Ms. Brazeau, told her that he worked directly with insurance companies, and offered to tow her vehicle from the scene. She confirmed her active progressive insurance policy with him and allowed him to leave with her vehicle.
And just to confirm, Ms. Brazeau did not call or contact Rocky Mountain Towing first.
That is correct.
Okay. And on the date of Ms. Brazeau's tow, in late August 2025, did Rocky Mountain Towing have an active PUC permit?
No, they did not.
And on the date of Ms. Brazeau's tow, did Rocky Mountain Towing have insurance?
No, they did not.
And just to confirm, Ms. Brazeau, did she let Rocky Mountain Towing tow her vehicle?
Yes, she did.
And what happened next?
She told me that on August 25th, she traveled to his tow yard, which is located at 8640 East Evans Avenue, where she was able to retrieve her personal belongings. She said that she had contacted her insurance company after several days of the vehicle being in impound and was informed that the tow company was essentially holding her vehicle hostage for nearly $3,000 in payment for the tow. She said that her insurance company challenged Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery in regards to his PUC permit authority and was informed that he provided a PUC permit number that belonged to another company by the name of US Towing.
Did Rocky Mountain Towing ever release Ms. Brazo's vehicle?
Yes, they did on September 5th.
Okay. Can we please pull up staff's hearing exhibit 105, please? Do you recognize this exhibit, Investigator Potts?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is a copy of the invoice that the complainants sent to the Public Utility Commission that was submitted by Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery.
And how does Progressive Insurance relate to the incident? If you could just clarify that again.
Progressive Insurance is the insurance company that Ms. Brousseau had and that was going to pay the tow fees and repair fees from this accident.
Okay. And if you could clarify, how did you obtain the document again?
Well, I received this document twice, but initially the complainant had a copy of it that she had sent to me. And then this document was also submitted to Progressive Insurance in an attempt to collect the payment for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery's tow fees.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 105.
Hearing exhibit 105 is admitted.
Thank you. Investigator Potts, when was this invoice issued?
I believe the date on it is September 5th, 2025.
And could you explain how you used that specific information in your investigation and the issuance of the CPAN?
I'm sorry, can you clarify your question?
Yeah, the date September 5th, how exactly did you use that date in your investigation for the CPAN?
That is the date that is marked on the invoice. So that is the date of September 5th is marked on the invoice. So those are the dates that I used on the CPAN for the date of offense.
And on September 5th, did respondent have a PUC towing permit?
No, they did not.
On September 5th, did respondent have insurance?
No, they did not.
Could we please pull up what has been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 106, please? And this is just a cover letter of some personal information that we redacted, but if we could scroll to the second page. Thank you. And just so everybody's aware, the only information we redacted was the VIN. But Investigator Potts, do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And can you describe what this is?
This is a copy of the tow invoice for the retrieval of the vehicle from Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery's yard and the transport to the repair facility.
And how did you obtain this document?
So I contacted the National Insurance Crime Bureau and requested copies of the towing invoices associated with this insurance claim. Progressive Insurance responded and provided the NICB with copies of the towing invoice that was just on the screen, which was submitted by Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery to Progressive for payment, as well as this invoice. This invoice is for the pickup of the vehicle, again, from the Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery yard and the transport to the repair facility. Reed and Rush Towing here had to pay for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery's fees in order for the vehicle to be released. And then they had added their charges on there for the transport to the repair facility.
So from your understanding, who paid this invoice?
Progressive Insurance ultimately paid all the fees associated with this.
And from your understanding, who is Reed and Rush Towing?
They are the company that was hired by Progressive Insurance to retrieve Miss Brousseau's vehicle from the Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery Yard.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 106.
Hearing exhibit 106 is admitted.
Investigator Potts, do you see on the top left some contact information for Rocky Mountain Towing?
Yes, I do.
And does it list a phone number?
Yes, it does.
Is that the same phone number that Rocky Mountain Towing listed on their application for a PUC permit?
Yes, it is.
And was respondent operating or offering to operate as a towing carrier on September 5th when they issued these invoices?
Yes, they were.
And they were in possession of Ms. Brousseau, the complainant's vehicle, on September 5th?
Yes, they were.
And were they operating as a towing carrier when they accepted payment from Progressive?
Yes, they were.
In Ms. Brousseau's situation, as we just discussed, Rocky Mountain Towing just happened upon her vehicle after an accident. But does Rocky Mountain Towing have a website?
Yes, they do.
Could we please pull up what has been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 107, please? If we could scroll through this briefly and then return to the first page. And I'll ask you, Investigator Potts, could you describe what this is?
This is the website for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery.
And how are you familiar with this exhibit?
I'm the one who located it and downloaded it to the file.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 107.
Hearing exhibit 107 is admitted.
And do you recognize the phone number that's listed on the first page of this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And who does this phone number belong to?
This is the same phone number that we keep seeing printed on their tow invoices and towing application for Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery. The phone number belongs to Mr. Nori Oreyeth.
Have you ever spoken with respondent during the course of this investigation?
Yes, I did.
Do you recall the first phone conversation you had with respondent?
Yes, I did.
And who initiated that phone call?
Mr. Oreyeth had called me.
And what phone number did he call you from?
He called me from this phone number that we're seeing printed at the middle page of the website here, 617.
And do you recall approximately when this conversation happened?
It would have been about the middle of September.
And can you summarize what transpired during this phone call with the respondent?
Sure. Earlier in the day that he had called me, I had actually contacted the owner of the tow yard that Mr. Oreyeth was storing vehicles at. I asked the owner if Mr. Oreyeth was a customer of his or was leasing property of his to store vehicles, and which the owner confirmed. However, later on that afternoon, that's when Nori called me. He told me that he had heard I was looking for him and wanted to know the reasons why. I told him that I was assigned to a complaint alleging that he was operating a tow business without proper PUC authorities, and that I was investigating the insurance accident that we're talking about today. Nori told me that he pledged his full cooperation and gave me his phone number, which is the same number we're talking about now, and told me to call him if I had any questions.
And could we please pull up what has been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 108? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
This is a business card that I received from the owner of US Towing.
And could you describe a little bit more about how you obtained this business card?
Sure. Once I had learned that the Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery was telling the insurance company their permit number when they were challenged, I ran that permit number within our system and it came back listed to US Towing. So I called US Towing, and the owner of the tow company told me that Nori Orayeth is a former employee of his that he had fired about a year prior. He said that Nori owned his own personal tow truck, but was marked up with the name and logo of US Towing. And he told me that Nori was also handing out business cards with US Towing's name, PUC permit number, and US DOT number, but had Nori's contact information on it.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 108.
Hearing exhibit 108 is admitted.
And I know I've asked this question a bunch, but Investigator Potts, is this the same phone number that respondent called you from?
Yes, it is.
And is this the same phone number that has been listed on respondent's application for a towing permit with the PUC?
Yes, it is.
And I want to clarify, this PUC permit listed on the business card, what towing operator does this PUC license belong to?
US Towing.
And when you prepared the CPAN, did you try to contact respondent?
Yes, I did.
And what phone number did you use?
This very same phone number that's printed on the business card.
And what was the purpose of this phone call?
I wanted to make arrangements to meet with Nori so I could personally serve him with a copy of the CPAN and discuss this incident with him.
Were you able to make those arrangements to serve respondent personally?
No, I did call the number, and the gentleman that answered, who sounded very much like Nori to me, told me that he was unavailable, but would have him call me back right away. And I never did receive that phone call.
Do you recall when you made this phone call trying to locate respondent?
That would have been on October 15th, 2025.
And can we please pull back up what has been marked as hearing exhibit 103? This exhibit has already been admitted, but I want to ask another clarification question. You testified earlier that this information is from the Secretary of State's database shows the dissolution of Rocky Mountain Towing. But I want to ask you when the dissolution happened in relation to the phone call that you had made to respondent seeking to serve him the CPAN.
So the company was dissolved on, can we zoom in a little bit? I'm sorry. The company was dissolved on October 15th, which is the same day that I contacted Nori.
Thank you. We can go ahead and take this exhibit down. Even though you weren't able to make those arrangements with respondent, did you still try to find him in person?
Yes, I did.
And what address did you go to?
I went to the 2580 or 2508 South University Boulevard address that's printed on the business license.
And is this the same address that was listed on respondent's application for a towing permit?
Yes, it is.
Were you able to serve respondent personally?
No, I was not. I went to that address. However, the numbers on the building were different than what were presented to me in person. I went to the buildings on either side and then across the street, and I never could locate 2580 or 2508 South University Boulevard.
Since you were not able to make arrangements to serve respondent with the CPAN, what form of notification did you use?
I ultimately served the CPAN via certified mail. However, I also emailed copies of the CPAN to both the email addresses that were filed on his towing application and the email address that was printed on the bottom of the business card as a courtesy.
let's start with the certified mail. Could we please pull up what has been marked as hearing exhibit 109? We can scroll to both pages. Thank you. Do you recognize this exhibit, Investigator Potts?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is a copy of the envelope containing the CPAN with the certified tracking numbers affixed to it.
And how exactly are you familiar with this exhibit?
I photocopied the document and saved it to the file.
Does the PUC use certified mail to issue CPANs during the course of its regularly conducted business?
Yes, they do.
Staff moves to admit hearing exhibit 109.
Hearing exhibit 109 is admitted.
Investigator Potts, where did you obtain the address to serve this CPAN?
From the Secretary of State's business license.
Is this the same address that Rocky Mountain Towing listed in their application for a towing permit?
Yes, it is.
And could we please pull up staff's hearing exhibit 110, please? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And what is it?
This is the tracking history showing that the item was delivered on October 24th, 2025.
And how are you familiar with this exhibit?
I'm the one that searched for the delivery confirmation and then printed it and saved it to the file.
Does the PUC regularly keep tracking receipts for certified mail that it issues?
Yes, it does.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 110.
Hearing exhibit 110 is admitted.
And you mentioned this earlier, but besides using certified mail, did you inform the respondent about the CPAN in another manner?
Yes. As a courtesy, I also emailed the CPAN to both email addresses that I had for him.
Could we please pull up what has been marked as staff's hearing exhibit 111? Do you recognize this exhibit?
Yes, I do.
And could you describe again what this is?
This is in the email that I sent to the respondent with the attached CPAN.
And if we could scroll to the second page of this exhibit, could you describe what this second email is?
Can we please zoom in? So I followed up with the second email with the attached CPAN requesting his confirmation and receipt and also offered to answer any questions he had.
Staff would like to move for the admission of hearing exhibit 111.
Hearing exhibit 111 is admitted.
And if we could, oh, we could stay right there. Investigator Potts, when did you send this email?
October 21st, 2025.
And there are two email addresses listed under the to field. Can you briefly describe how you became aware of both of these addresses?
Yes. One of the email addresses was listed for the company as part of their towing application that they submitted to the Public Utility Commission. The other email address is the address printed at the bottom of the business card.
We can go ahead and take this exhibit down. Investigator Potts, what is your recommendation today?
First and foremost, I'd ask that the penalty be imposed. I would ask that the ALJ issue a cease and desist order to the respondent, advising him to, or ordering him to stop operating until he has an active towing permit. And finally, I'd ask for a full refund to be issued to Progressive Insurance.
And I just want to confirm, did respondent put himself out to be Rocky Mountain Towing during the course of the violation?
Absolutely.
We have no further questions for Investigator Potts.
Thank you. One quick question, Mr. Potts. During your conversations, they were all telephonic, correct? With Mr. Oriath?
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question?
All of your conversation were by conversation with Mr. Oriath were on the phone. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct.
And during these conversations, at least during these conversations, did he identify him as the owner or operator of Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery?
Not specifically. However, in that very first phone call, I did advise him that I was trying to locate his information, do the operation of his tow company, assumingly Rocky Mountain Towing and Recovery, since it had no proper operating authority.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Butts. I have no further questions. Ms. McLaughlin, do you have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
Mr. Potts, thank you for your testimony. You're excused.
Thank you.
Ms. McLaughlin, would you like to make a closing statement?
Sure, Your Honor. As you've seen from the evidence, Mr. Nori Oraeth has been operating and presenting himself through several means. There was a website listed as Rocky Mountain Towing. He has approached individuals that have been involved in accidents on the side of the road, presented himself as Rocky Mountain Towing. He has a business card that is not listed as Rocky Mountain Towing, but it lists US Towing, and it falsely identifies a PUC number that is associated with a different entity. Mr. Investigator Potts had informed Mr. Oraeth that he was investigating this issue. Mr. Oraeth had time to correct the issue. Mr. Oraeth also should have known that he was responsible for obtaining a PUC permit as indicated by the application that he did submit with the PUC. He did not follow through with it, and he had the opportunity to do things the right way. Unfortunately, he did not. So the evidence here shows that Mr. Oraeth was operating Rocky Mountain Towing without a permit during the course of the year 2025, including the incident that happened in August 2025, and when he submitted the invoices in September of 2025. And he also was operating without insurance during all of these violations. So we respectfully request that Your Honor issue a cease and desist, issue a refund to the insurance company, and issue a penalty against Rocky Mountain Towing.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your presentation this morning. I will take this matter under advisement and issue a written recommended decision. Any questions before we adjourn?
None from us. Thank you.
We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.